In this video, I'm going to go over the assignment for today, and it's possible that I'll have to break this into two different videos, but this first one I'm going to go over especially how to take this image, which is our logo right here, and how to put that into Illustrator. Now, very often, logos like this, especially in a school organization like Ballard, many times the original files will get lost, and in order to have a quality and non-pixelated version of it, you have to figure out and possibly trace over this. And so our assignment is going to be practicing that. We're going to practice how to make vectors and how to accurately have them follow our curves. Okay. The first thing we're going to do is download this logo. So right here, I just clicked on it from the assignment. There's a little button down here that says download image. And I'm just going to download that. I have already made a folder within my graphics folder called vector trace. And then I'm just going to make sure this name is Ballard logo. I can remember that. That'll be good. And then hit save. So now I have that image in that folder. I know where it is. Got to keep track. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start a new document in Illustrator. So creating new. And in this case, we're going to be able to use a letter size. So we can go to print. Letter is one of our presets, but we're going to change this. We're going to change the orientation to horizontal. Then I'm going to call this Ballard logo trace because we're tracing this logo. None of the other options need to be changed. We can just leave those as is. And now we've got that blank document. What I'm going to do is go and put that picture in. And so far we've copy and pasted, but from here on out, kind of a better way to actually do this is to go to File and Place. And this is going to be true in Illustrator and in InDesign. Okay? And so I've got my Ballard logo. That's going to be the image. Something unusual that you may have noticed with this is we have an area around this logo that is white, and then we've got this kind of jagged edge around the outside that is black. And PNG files allow for transparency, and the way the computer actually identifies that is all of this area around here that's transparent. It's not actually part of the image. There isn't a pixel there. Whereas all of the other areas either have red, white, or black pixels on there. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to make a vector that doesn't have that. And another way to actually show that is I'm going to make a rectangle, and I'm going to make the fill a color that is not white, doesn't blend in with the parts that are, and I'm going to go ahead and put that right there. If I change the order, you can see that this is actually not a very well cut out image. It's actually got some weird pixels going on. We're going to get rid of all that. We're going to make a really clean version of this. So now I've got that object to trace. I can leave both of these if I want, and I'm going to lock that into place. Next thing I'm going to do is create a new layer. Anytime you want to create a new layer in the layers panel, you'll notice that it looks like that little post-it note with a corner up. Once I click on that, it creates a new layer on top. I'm going to click to activate, and now I can actually use my pen tool to trace over all of this. And I'm going to start with this shape right here, this red one, and that's because it is on par with one of the more simple shapes that there are. And I'm going to change my fill to nothing, and then I'm going to change the outline to be something that contrasts. So we've got white, red, and black as our colors. blue contrasts with all of them, so I'm going to select this kind of light blue cyan color, and then the outline, that the line weight is 1 point. I'm going to leave that. Got my pen tool, and anytime you see this little asterisk right next to the pen tool, that's saying that you're starting a new vector. Sometimes that will be helpful, other times it will not. And so we're just going to click, and I know I'm working on a curve, so I'm actually going to click and drag. And so I've got this click and drag, and as you can see, I actually went in the wrong direction, so I should do it the other way. Quick undo will fix that. And so I'm going to click and drag, and I'm going to move up to about here. And then I'm going to aim for kind of the middle of this curve right here, click and drag and try to match it. It doesn't need to be perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but it can be. And then I'm going to adjust this one as well to get it to fit. And then from there, I'm noticing that whenever I'm continuing, these handles right here that define my curves always kind of work like a teeter-totter, and so they move together. One way to do that is you can actually move your mouse, and anytime you see this kind of upside down V shape, that's going to be the tool that will allow you to adjust that. And if you click just once, it's going to get rid of that second one. And then if I want to, I could go up to my next spot right here, and that gives me that sharp corner. So far that's looking pretty good. And I'm hoping to actually finish this vector right here, and so I'm going to aim for it to show that circle, little circle right there, to show the closed vector. And if I click and drag, I'm going to try to match that pretty well. Looks pretty good there. It did something funky here, but I'll tell you, there is a way to fix that. So most of my vectors are pretty good. I might need to make a change here or there, and I'm going to use my anchor point tool to do so. So anytime that you create an anchor point with these handles, these curves, it wants to make a smooth curve like this. We generally try to keep it that way unless we have a sharp point like right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to select this handle, and as soon as I select that, it kind of breaks it of that habit and no longer will work as a teeter-totter. And then my direct select tool allows me to actually manipulate those handles and those individual points. So I'm going to extend this one out a little bit. This one I'm going to move in just a little bit, move that one out just a little bit. And as you can see, I did not have it exactly perfect to begin with, but what I was able to do is make a few changes, and all of a sudden I have a path that matches fairly well. I can take time, I'm sure you will, to do even better. Around here you're going to do also curves, but then remember you can change those and have using the anchor point tool, you can actually change that and make a sharp point for any of these. Anytime that you have a rectangular corner like on the teeth here, it actually is possible to just click and no dragging is involved. But then sometimes you will need to click and drag. So there we go. Once you get the hang of this, you will have a much easier time at this. Practice, practice, practice. And then the last thing you're going to do is you're going to change all of the hide your original, and then change all of your vectors to have some sort of fill that is not the exact same as what we've done. So feel free to make it whatever colors you deem fit, but you'll have all of those vectors, and just make them colors that are not the ones right here that already exist. Good luck, and I will see you in class.